Now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting-edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us from the Chicago Cubs organization, our old buddy, former Robert E. Lee Red Raider, Oklahoma State Cowboy, and lately with the Iowa Cubs, it's Ty Wright. How you doing, Ty?
Good, Bryan. How about yourself?
Doing well. Thanks very much for talking with us today. I got to get caught up on how things are going with you, first of all. You played in Iowa this past year?
Yes, played in Iowa for finally, and then, of course, the injury bug struck again if I could only stay healthy, and then cut my season short this year. So, but, yeah, I actually played in Iowa all year, all the time, and enjoyed some success and was looking forward to having another great year until I got hurt again.
What was the injury?
Had a stress fracture in my tibia bone, in my right tibia bone. So how they make these injuries up, I have no idea, but they just always seem to sneak up on me like that.
You need to drink more milk or something, man, you know?
Well, every year I get the saying, like, these normally don't happen with baseball players, but you got it. So I've just gotten used to that saying and just keep on chugging, I guess.
Great. Well, it looks like you played, 68 games in Iowa in AAA and, 287
yes.
for batting average. That's great. So tell me a little bit about where you stand right now. What's your progress report as far as your career goes right now?
Well, I think everything's looking good, to tell you the truth. I think obviously the one setback, the one thing that has really been hurting me is the injuries. And if I can just prove to stay healthy and continue to have success, then you never know what can happen. But I'm going to go play winter ball and hopefully stay healthy there and prove that I can stay healthy and get ready. This will lead into spring training and hopefully have a good winter ball and the ball be rolling for spring training and good things can happen going into spring. And you never know what can happen. Obviously, every year we say that, but you just hopefully put yourself in the best situation possible.
You're healthy now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Now, I saw on the Cubs website you're eligible for Rule 5 draft. Explain what that means.
Basically, what the Rule 5 draft is it's a separate draft that's going to happen in December. It happens every year, and it's nothing to really get too excited about. But I mean, it's just a draft so organizations, from what I understand, can't stockpile and hold players down from hopefully getting to the big leagues one day type thing. So there has to be you have to have certain things, like you cannot be on the 40-man roster. If you're on the 40-man roster, you're not eligible for the Rule 5 draft, things like that. So in a lot of ways, it's for guys, the way I've understood, kind of similar to myself, that have been injured and maybe missed a season, and teams want to take a chance on him. They like his talent level, and there's different levels of the draft. One's a major league level. So myself playing in AAA, if somebody took me in the big league portion of the draft next year, there's certain rules, like I have to be in the big leagues all year next year with that team who took me, or they can, if I'm not in the big leagues, they have to send me back to the Cubs. And then there's a AAA level and a AA level. There's just so many rules out there for this thing that really help out players that it's, I don't even know all the rules, but obviously the one is, if you get taken the big league portion, that you got to be in the big leagues all year. So I think every player always maybe doesn't expect that to happen, but thinks that would be awesome if that happened to me. So you just never know in this crazy world of baseball.
You wouldn't mind leaving the Cubs organization if it was under those circumstances?
If somebody wanted to put me on their big league roster, I don't see why anybody would disagree with that.
I totally understand. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about baseball in general. You saw the Rangers yesterday, I'm sure. What do you make of the collapse of that team?
It's, man, for me, the first thing I think about is, you see Josh Hamilton, you see these guys, they just looked, they just looked kind of shocked about they didn't look like they're themselves. They're always having fun, doing their little antics, and all. They just looked like in a daze the past week, at least for me. And it kind of got to the point for me when I was watching Josh Hamilton hit and certain guys hit. It's like they were just putting too much pressure on themselves, trying to do too much, trying to hit a home run when, just trying to a single was really all they needed. But, man, I don't know what happened to them. But the good thing is, and I'll use an example, my senior year in college at Oklahoma State, we were cruising, doing so good. We were projected to be a number 1 seed in the NCAA field in 2007. And then all of a sudden we got swept by Texas. Well, we lost 3 games to Texas. Then we lost 3 games to Missouri. And then we went to the Big 12 tournament, and we lost all 3 games there.
Oh, man.
And we kind of came back and had a little team meeting and, kind of said, hey, listen, nothing else matters. We don't care how many errors we've made. We don't care what we've done at the plate. All that's over with. It starts now. We believed in ourselves. We ended up getting a 3 seed in the Arkansas regional. We ended up winning the regional, went to super regional where we lost there. But a little bit different of example. College and pros are a little bit different. But at the same time, I feel like the Rangers, everybody knows they could be AL West champs. They should have had home field advantage, but they didn't. But I think the thing is they don't really have like a clear-cut ace on the mound. So I think if there's anybody that can go from the wild card game right into and win the wild card game and go straight into the best 2 out of 3 or best 4 out of 7, whatever, it would be the Rangers because A, they can hit, B, their pitching staff, you don't really see like, man, we've got this guy going, so we're good. They have several pitchers that it's kind of like the Cowboys right now. You're like, you don't really know which Ranger team is going to show up right now, and you're just hoping that the good Ranger team shows up because you know how good they're capable of being and that they can get back to the World Series even though they are in the wild card game.
Well, what do you make of Friday night then? They send Yu Darvish out there. That's a good thing, I guess, because if you're talking about guys that have a better than 50-50 chance of winning ball games, really Darvish and Matt Harrison have been the only guys you could maybe put out there on a weekly basis and say, you got a better than 50-50 chance. You know what you're going to get most of the time with those 2 guys. The rest of them, it's a coin flip.
You're right. I think Yu Darvish, I think Friday night goes deeper for me than just Yu Darvish. You see the experience they've had the past 2 years, and then you play this team in Baltimore to where just really came out of nowhere. And so it's really like the experience machine in the Rangers versus this new up-and-coming Baltimore Orioles team. I'm just hoping Yu Darvish can go out there and throw strikes. If he, I know if he just goes and throws strikes, basically what Ron Washington would say. If he just goes and throws strikes and does what he does, then they're going to be fine. But I know if he gets in there and starts throwing balls and walk, I know I've seen some games where he's walked like 9 people also. Mm-hmm. And, obviously we don't want to hope for, we don't want that. But I think Ron Washington would have a quick hook on him if that happened. But, it all starts with your pitching. I don't care what kind of offense you have. It all starts with your starting pitcher that day. And I think Yu Darvish, especially with the Orioles, can go out there and throw strikes and hopefully keep Baltimore off the bases and keep the runs down because the Rangers are going to be fired up enough. I think Josh Hamilton now. I heard it best last night on TV. I think Kurt Schilling or somebody said or John Kruk that Josh Hamilton, if he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder by now after this past week, then something's wrong with the guy. I think, and I agree with him, I expect big things from Josh Hamilton because of what happened yesterday to him. His hitting's kind of gone off. So I'm thinking, hey, this guy might have a chip on his shoulder. He's going to come out exploding, and I hope so because he can really carry this offense very far into the playoffs.
If you had to pick one team right now that you think's got the best chance of winning this whole thing, be it National League or American League, which team do you like the best?
Whew, that's a tough. It's kind of weird because maybe about 5-6 years ago, I think you could really pinpoint one team and be like, man, this team's gonna win it. And most of the time, they either got to the World Series or you were right, they won it. Nowadays, I look really big time at the pitching staff, and the managers and stuff. I think the Giants are a team that could really do something pretty special if their pitching goes well. But I don't know. I just can't really look past the Detroit Tigers and the Washington Nationals right now. Those are 2 teams that have power pitching. Yeah. There's no doubt about it, from their bullpen to the starters. And, I think the Detroit Tigers, obviously with Miguel Cabrera having one of the greatest seasons that we've ever seen, and then you got Prince Fielder behind him. It's not fair. So I think if I had to pick somebody, I would probably go with the Detroit Tigers right now.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Now, when do you leave for Venezuela?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, and that's gonna carry you all the way to spring training then.
That'll carry me all. Well, I'll come back. I'm hoping to come back just for like a little bit during Thanksgiving. You know, my son's first birthday. I want to come back for that. And then that's the same time as Thanksgiving. And then I'll be home for sure before Christmas.
All right. Now, how old is the boy?
He's 10 months, going on 11 months. So
and is he Bam Bam? Is he tearing the place up?
Oh, he's just now walking, so he's, going crazy. So I think I'm leaving at the perfect time.
I bet your wife hates you right now, I can tell you.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, Ty, it's great talking to you. Best of luck. Stay healthy and just tear them up over in Venezuela. And we'll check back in with you from time to time, see how things are going, okay?
All right, Brian, I appreciate it.
Great talking to you, man. Thanks very much.
We'll see you.
All right, Ty Wright with the Chicago Cubs organization on Bryan Houston Sports Radio Live on 99.3 Talk FM.